It is said that a design has to work in black and white before it can be successful in color. So with this cover, I kept it to all black and white. But what we're going to do is pick a color model for the entire brochure. I'll select this tinted gray box in the background, and you'll notice on my toolbar I have fill and stroke. In fact, I normally like to hit these double-sided white arrows to go to a two-column toolbar so you can better see fill or inside color of a box and stroke or border, the outline color of a box. With fill, there are many different ways to pick a color. I could simply double-click, and a double-click brings up the RGB color picker. I could aim for different shades, and what I really want is a Golden Gate Bridge orange. But I'm really just taking stabs in the dark here. So when I click OK, I get that orange shade. But I'm going to look at swatches, and in swatches you'll see that there are built-in colors: the yellow, magenta, cyan, blue, red, and green that come with InDesign. If you've been given a recipe for a color, and I happen to know that the Golden Gate Bridge is actually painted International Orange, and I have a CMYK recipe for it, a cyan, magenta, yellow, and black recipe. So I'm going to add that recipe. I could go to my color panel and mix it, or I could go to my swatches panel, hit the panel menu, which are the four little lines with a down arrow, and choose New Color Swatch. And when I do this, I don't want to name it with the values I type in. I'll name it International Orange. Print shops love to see name with color value, but most designers I know prefer a name that they give it. The values for International Orange are 0 for cyan, and I'm pressing Tab to jump down and highlight, 69 for magenta, Tab, 100 for yellow, Tab, and 6 for black. And you won't see the black kick in until you press Tab one last time, so it triggers the preview. In fact, we know this is CMYK, or the four-color process color. But many people ask me, why is K black? There are two accepted answers. B was already taken for blue, or in printing and prepress, the K plate is the key or key line for the job. It shows you the structure because that's usually where most of the text exists. So once I click OK on my International Orange, my selected box goes to that color. I'll click on swatches to collapse it, and I'll hit Option or Alt page down to page down and keep it centered. A lot of times what people try to do is select text. So I double-click to get inside this text box. I'll hit Command A or Control A to select all, or Edit, select all. And they might want to sample a color directly from an image. So with the eyedropper tool, I could move into the Golden Gate Bridge and click once, and the text turns into that color. To see its recipe, I could click on Swatches, and at the bottom, click the New Swatch button. And there you'll see this was an RGB placed image, so it gives me a red, green, and blue formula. Double-clicking on that formula will let me edit it. And I could check the values in CMYK to see how close it is to that International Orange. So it's close, but not perfect. We're missing a lot of yellow, and we have very little black. Magenta was really the closest number. So I could uncheck this and name this Second Orange if I want to keep it. Or if I decide that it was too far off and looks a little bit too pink, I could simply trash that color, and I'll replace it with black. What I'd like to do is grab a blue sky to use for all my heading styles. So the eyedropper tool is loaded with a color right now. To reload the eyedropper, I can hold down Option or Alt, and as I click, I can see the blue that I'm sampling here. So I could try a lighter blue, you'll see it change, and a darker blue. Once I'm happy with the blue, I'll click the New Color Swatch, double-click on it, and uncheck Name with Color Value and name this Sky Blue. And for the print world, pre-press people always want to see CMYK values. But if you're doing a web color, feel free to use RGB. If this pamphlet was only distributed as a PDF or as flash file, RGB or red, green, and blue is the accepted color model for online or mobile and device content. And because I sleep better at night when I see whole numbers, I'm going to make this a little bit cleaner formula for my liking, so I'm just rounding everything up to 75, 54, 11, and 1. And I'll click OK. And this got changed to sky blue, but I'll come to paragraph styles and see that this is using the main head style. If I go to Pages and select all my future pages, you'll see that they're in black. So when I come back here, I can actually go to Paragraph Styles and choose from the panel menu, Redefine Style. This will pick up my new sky blue and apply it everywhere main head is used. So when I select Redefine Style and now go to Pages and double-click, there I see all of my headings got to be that blue. So I've added a color by double-clicking on the fill in my toolbar. I've added a color by going to Swatches and choosing New Color Swatch to mix my own, or the New Color Swatch button to pick up a color that I already have. So give these methods a try on this document and with some of your own files.